Okay, how to write irresistible web copy that makes your dream wedding couples hire you. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in on time. So here's what I have to say about websites and website copy. So having a pretty website is really only skin deep, or in this case, page deep. So your website can be really pretty, really attractive, but that only gets you so far when it comes to your dream clients. You really have to create a need or desire with your words, or your dream wedding couples may never call you or email you, let alone hire you. So today we're going to go through a couple of different things. First, we're going to discover how to write web copy so swoon-worthy that couples and grooms are lining up to work with you. We're going to uncover the step-by-step recipes to writing copy that converts into booked weddings. And I am going to teach you my #1 secret for writing delicious copy and how to apply it to your own copy on every single page of your website. And I'll give you a hint, you can also use it in your email marketing campaigns and pretty much anything that you're writing for your particular business. So before we jump in, on a quick side note, I will leave about 15 to 20 minutes at the end for questions. Please do hold your questions until the end. I don't want to get off track. And if you have one, jot yourself down a note so you won't forget it, and I will answer everything at the end. If you're not watching live, but instead are watching the recording, you can shoot me a question to my email address, which is hello@weddingplannercopy.com, and I definitely will answer it. I am going to stick to the hour if it takes us that long, because I have a flight to catch. So if I miss any of your questions, you can also send me an email and I definitely will respond to you. Also, hang in until the end of the call for a big, juicy, special offer that I'm only extending to my webinar attendees. Oh yeah, let me give you some down and dirty info on me so you have some idea of why you might want to listen to what the heck I have to say to begin with. So I'm Christy Lorette McCauley. I do have a word addiction and I'm not afraid to use it or admit it. In my past life, I was a certified wedding planner, but in my current life, I am the wedding planner copywriter. So I am a published author, a copy expert, a marketing maven, communication chica. I'm also a wife and a mom, and so much more. I do wear a ton of hats, and I know you do too, as wedding planners and professionals. And I know all of that because as a former certified wedding planner, I have definitely walked a mile in your shoes, pumps, stilettos, or stylish flats. I've been writing for a really long time, probably since I was about 2-ish, but it really didn't make much sense until later in life. But in the real world, I do have over 18 years of writing and marketing experience. That always makes me pause and say, wow, how is that possible? I still feel like I'm so young. But anyways, I use this experience in writing and from running my own wedding planning business in the past to help wedding planners and wedding professionals turn your thoughts into words that really land you your dreamiest of dream couples and really book your calendar solid. So here are some of my street creds. As I mentioned, I am a former certified wedding planner. I did own and operate my wedding planning business for about 4 years out of Miami, Florida. I am a Florida girl. Somehow that wound up in a Virginia world. I was the president, vice president, and secretary on the board of the NAWP, which is the National Association of Wedding Professionals for the Miami-Dade and Broward chapter. I've been writing copy and content for the wedding industry for over 9 years now. And I am the wedding expert on the Love to Know blog, Here Comes the Wedding. I've published thousands of wedding articles, and I've even authored some wedding books, such as Your Second Wedding. Okay, that's about it. So let's do this. So wedding planners ask my advice on writing all the time. And my number one tip that I really love to share is to be you when you write. And that sounds so simple, yet planners do not heed my advice. And I want you to ponder this for a moment. So you're a wedding planner and you're one of dozens milling around out there. And if you're in a big city, there literally are dozens of you in that city. So what makes you so different from those other wedding planners that are writing articles and sharing information online as a way to attract new clients? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's you. You are what makes you different. So your voice, your tone, your personality, and your point of view are what make couples want to work with you, or in some cases not work with you. And when I'm talking about your voice, your tone, your personality, your point of view, that comes across in your writing on your website. And of course, it comes across, when they eventually meet with you in person. But remember, probably 80 to 90% of these couples are finding you online first. So they're finding you somewhere and then they're heading to your website to check it out. So when I'm talking about that, your voice, your tone, your personality, that's all in your writing that comes across, via your website. So I'll say this, if you're a poor speller or your grammar really sucks, then you have some adjusting to make before you launch your next bestseller. But other than that, when you write using your own words, your own voice, and voice your own opinion with your own words and the facts that support, what you think. And if you're not convinced yet, okay, here's how I write and why it works for me and my clients, and it can work for you and your clients too. So take just a moment, and you don't have to do it right now. You can come back and do this later, but take a moment to figure out your writing style. Do you like to write like you talk? Like if you were having a conversation with someone that's sitting right in front of you or someone you're chatting with on the phone? Are you sarcastic? Do you like to joke around and make jokes? Do you like to use puns, when you're writing? Or are you more serious and conservative? Are you a little bit more formal and stiff? Remember, there are no wrong answers to this because you can't be you in the wrong way unless, you're acting like someone else and then you're not, acting like you at all. But think about this. Think about what your writing style is and how you like to write and how you like to come across to the clients or the prospects, that are landing on your website. Remember too, that you're writing for other people to read and to understand what you're writing. So forget about Google, forget about, search engine optimization, forget about all that kind of stuff when you're writing for just a moment. And remember that you're a human writing for another human. So write like a human being that's talking to another human being. Write like a wedding planner that's talking to a bride, or write like a wedding planner that's talking to a groom. Write exactly like you're having a conversation with someone. So I want to talk about why it's important to write like a human. And again, this stuff sounds so obvious, but I'm telling you, people do not do it. So besides the obvious reason, that I'm a human or you're a human, there's so many reasons that you should write like you're a human. One of the primary reasons is because, again, you want someone to read it and to understand it and to really connect with you. So if I have a friend or a client or even my husband, sitting in front of me, I talk normally. I want to be able to say what I need to say to them, and I have them respond and then either end the conversation there or respond back to their response. I mean, that makes sense, right? That's how you have a conversation. So I do the same when I write, and you should do the same when you write. And I'll say this, sure, there's a million rules that exist on how you should write and how you should say what you want to say to your brides and grooms. My motto is to simply say it like you would say it if that couple was sitting right in front of you. So while I'm a grammar freak at heart, I do chuck some of those rules to the wind when I'm writing online. Don't judge. Some of the greatest copywriters and salespeople in this world, people that are making six-figure, $1 million incomes, snub their nose at grammar rules too. And that's normal operating procedure when you're talking about copywriting. I mean, we're not talking about writing a term paper. We're talking about writing website copy. So they write like they speak. So they write as if they're having a conversation with other human beings. After all, marketing is all about getting couples excited about your service packages and getting them to book your services. If you sound like a robot, you're going to end up with snoozing couples, that don't stick around to finish reading your website or read what you have to say. And they're definitely it's not going to entice them to call you up and book you for their wedding. If you can't wow them with a little copy, then how in the heck are you going to wow them with your creative design, and ideas? Another reason to write, why I write like a human and why you should write like a human, is it's me. When I stopped getting so hung up with grammatically correct phrases, again, I'm not writing for educational clients or journals where this stuff is strict, and neither are you, unless your niche happens to be, college English professors. So once I got, chucked some of those, rules out the window, I was able to really start writing like myself. I'm really able to let my personality shine through. Wedding planners that come to my site, are able to get to know me. I'm able to be my down-home, genuine self. And I think that really shows through my writing. And I've heard that it shows through my writing, with my interaction and the way I say or write things and reveal my point of view. And my point here is that you want to do the same thing with your clients. The stuff works. The only reason I'm using myself as an example is because it works. And I can say that firsthand. So this is precisely what you want to accomplish too. You want prospective couples to really get to know you. And I'm talking about the real you. I mean, I don't have to sit here and tell you that a couple hires you as a wedding planner because they get you on some level. There's some kind of click between the two of you. It's not all about your design or your creativity or your pricing or your whatever. I mean, there's got to be a click there with your personalities and being able to work together. And you know that better than anyone. So the bottom line is, and I know that's very cliche, that I am who I am and nobody's going to change that. And you are who you are, and nobody's going to change that either. So I enjoy writing so much more now that I can take my mannerisms as a human being and share that information with other human beings, with wedding planners, just like you, trying to run a business, raise a family, stop the puppy from peeing in the house and go on a date with my husband every once in a while. And you should want to date your own spouse or significant other, however, not mine, I'm just saying. But you're going to enjoy writing so much more when you're writing like you. Your couples are going to enjoy what you have to say so much more when you are writing like you. So take a moment to look at something you've written. Website pages are a great place to start. And you don't have to do this right now, but go back and take a look at something that you've written and think, analyze. Does it sound like something that another human being can easily consume? A bride or a groom can easily consume. If not, go back to the drawing board. And here's an example of someone telling you how you should write. I read an entrepreneur article recently about 10 words that you shouldn't be using when you write. And this is not the only place I've seen some of the words that made this particular list. And personally, I think the list is bogus, and I will tell you why. But first, here's the list of words. So just, really, very, perhaps, maybe, quite, amazing, literally, stuff, things, and got. So here's a disclaimer. I don't use all of these words when I write, but I do use some of them, and I'm not afraid to use them. And I'm not afraid to admit that I use them. In fact, if you peruse my site or my posts and my articles, you just, quote unquote, just might see some of the words flying around. You're probably seeing, hearing a few of those words fly around right now in my script. But here's why I think it's poppycock. Again, I write for human beings. I write like I talk. It works for my business. It works for my clients. I don't write for educational journals or textbooks. I write marketing, copy, and content that helps my clients book their calendars solid with weddings. And you're doing the same. You're writing marketing, copy, and content that helps your clients plan their dream event, plan their dream wedding, take the vision out of their head and put it, into their wedding day. So you're doing that same exact thing for wedding couples. Again, wedding planners and couples have to connect on some kind of a human level. Their personalities have to jive. And if the connection is not there, they aren't going to book you. They're not going to book a consultation with you, and they're certainly not going to hire you. When people read content or they read copy on your website that sounds as if you're having a conversation with them, that you're speaking directly to them, it's much easier for them to relate to what you're saying. The copy ends up resonating with them, and when something resonates with them, because it's conversational, they tend to want to read what you're saying and feel as if they are already starting to form a relationship with you and do business with you. They want to do business with you. That itch starts as they're reading through your copy. And doesn't that sound exactly like where you want to be with your couples? I mean, hint, it should. So here's my point. My point is, don't let these kinds of articles that you may be coming across, on Entrepreneur, which is a very reputable site, deter you from writing the way that you write. If your writing is working for you and it's working for your business, then it's working. If you're writing in a way that doesn't seem to be working for you and doesn't seem to be working for your business, then, try a different way. But don't let these types of things deter you from writing the way that you feel comfortable. Can you find a better word than stuff? Stuff is number 8 on this list. I mean, sure, sometimes you can. Is the world going to end if you use the word got, number 10 on the list? I think not. Do you use any of these words? If you do, it's probably because it sounds and feels natural for you to do so, and that's perfectly fine. The only time it can really cause a problem is if your dream couples don't relate to what you're saying. But, and it is a big but here, your words are not going to scare away the right couples. So the opposite is actually going to happen. The wording you choose and the voice and tone you write with attracts the perfect couples for you and the perfect couples for your business. Oh, got behind, sorry. So write for your dream wedding couples. Write how you talk. And when you're yourself when you write, that's fabulous. But it's not all you have to do. So writing copy that hits the sweet spot of your dream couples is really the bullseye that you're looking to hit when you're writing, especially your web copy. But this also applies, to emails that you're sending out and things of that nature. So if you're scratching your head, wondering exactly how in the heck do I do that? it's not as hard as you might think. And that's the good news, right? So you have to talk their talk. So I know I just said, talk like you, write like you talk, but you also have to kind of write like they talk. So this is really, how you hit their sweet spot. You have to walk their walk and you have to talk their talk. So it becomes kind of difficult for you. So when you have a conversation with a prospective couple or a client, yes, I'm talking about an actual conversation where you're face to face, you're on the phone or you're using Skype. Pay attention to what they are saying. What words are they using? What hot buttons or issues are they pointing out to you? And what are they directly and indirectly telling you that they want and need from you and your services? So the answers to these burning questions, my wedding planning friend, are precisely how you hit their sweet spot. And I'm talking about right in the middle. So here's an example. As you know, I work with wedding planners. So I hear a lot of talk about quote unquote, booking more couples, booking more weddings. This is the terminology that I use in my copy. This is your biggest struggle, your burning desire, the foundation of most of your businesses. I mean, I haven't heard one wedding planner yet say, I just can't book any more weddings. I mean, you may have a quota that, or, a cap that you only book so many a year or whatever. And that's great if you reach that. But I never really hear a wedding planner say that. So booking more couples is such a hot phrase that there's even a website, a business, dedicated to marketing for wedding planners or wedding professionals really in general. And it's called bookmorecouples.com. I know that's a big shocker, but again, that's because if I sit and listen to a wedding planner talk, this is the kind of stuff that I hear. So you have to sit and listen to what your couples are saying. So here's the issue that I focus on when I'm writing a website page to attract, wedding planners like you. A status update on, one of my social media pages, or when I'm just chit-chatting with one of you about your services or your products that I offer that can help them grow their business and book more couples. So figure out and use these words and these hot issues, and you're going to be, rolling in the dough, very soon. So don't think like a wedding planner so much, and think like a wedding couple. Think back to a conversation you've had recently with a prospective bride. Or groom, what language, words, and phrases, did you hear them say? And more importantly, when you're having these conversations over and over again with different couples, different brides, different grooms, what are you hearing over and over and over again? And if you don't remember what those phrases happen to be at this point, schedule a couple of talks, or calls or meetings, or pay attention to your upcoming meetings, or pull up the video or the taped conversation that you had and listen to them again. Listen for, and then physically write down the words and the phrases that you keep hearing them say over and over again. So here's how hitting your dream couple's sweet spot ends up booking your calendar. So let's say that Susie Bride is your prospect. And she's your dream bride. So go ahead, paint the picture of who Susie Bride is in your head. Go ahead, take a moment and do it. Trust me on this one. You want to have a really clear view of who Susie Bride is. Who is Susie Bride for you? Here's the problem. Susie has a problem. Susie's trying to work a full-time job. She's going to college at night, and she's planning her wedding. Susie is stressed out. Susie is stressed out to the max. She doesn't know how to create any more hours in the day for all this stuff that she has to do. And Susie wants to have her dream wedding. But instead of dreams, planning is giving Susie nightmares. So the big step that Susie takes is Susie starts looking around for the solution to her problem. And this part might shock you. She goes to her computer, or she pulls out her smartphone, and she pulls up her favorite search engine, and she starts looking for information on solutions to her problem. And here's the solution. Susie sees a link to one of your blog posts or your website page in the search engine results that she's, pulling up with her search. And she ends up clicking on that link. And she reads your content. And instantly, she finds the answer she's looking for to get rid of her problem. So now, and this could be a blog post. It doesn't have to be, a page on your website trying to, sell your services. Now, Susie thinks you're a genius. And now she wants to build a relationship with you, and she wants to build a relationship with your business. You have hit Susie's sweet spot. You hit Susie's sweet spot with your content or your copy, with the information that you're sharing with her to get rid of her nightmares. So you're the solution to your clients' problems, and you're showing them that with your words. So here's where trust and credibility that comes into play. So Susie might at this point pick up the phone or click on the schedule an appointment button on your site, to make that connection with your business on that first contact. So she may read whatever it was and pick up the phone and call you up, but she might not. What she might do is she might continue to follow your content, read more of your information so that she can see if she does really trust you and thinks you're a credible source for her. And at some point, however, once you've built that credibility and trust, Susie ends up wanting to do business with you, and she wants to hire you to plan her wedding. So let me just say this. That's how business gets done. That's how business gets done every day. So you hit Susie's sweet spot, and now it's landed you her business. It's how business gets done every single day of the week, 24 hours a day. And you can seriously put that in your pipe and smoke it, or not, because smoking is bad for your health. But seriously, that is definitely how you connect with a bride or a groom, and that's it. I mean, most of the time they're sold on it before they get to you. Or if you have to sell them at the table, that does happen, of course. But if you use your words correctly and you do it the right way, they're sold before they get to that consultation. I promise you that. So, niche it to rich it. So this is a famous saying by, I forget who now. I should probably know that. But you've probably heard this saying, you have to niche it to rich it. And essentially it means that you have to narrow down your sweet spot. So you have to decide who your dreamiest of dream couples are. So you have to narrow down your dream couples to practically be the size of a pinhole on a needle. And I won't bore you with all of the details on how to do that, because that's not really why we're here. And there's really gobs and gobs of information out there on how you can do that. But we're here today to talk about, writing copy that speaks directly to the heart and soul of your dream couples. So when you narrow down who your dream couples are, you can speak directly to them, because you can describe them as decadently as you can describe your favorite ice cream or cake or candy bar, or in your case, the most elegant and decadent wedding you've ever planned, during your career. So when I choose to write copy for clients, I choose to work only with wedding planners. Why? People may think I'm crazy. Most don't. Most think it's really cool. But there's probably people out there that think I'm nuts, because I could write for anyone. Why would I only write for one specific type of person? Well, because I know their walk, and I know their talk, and I know their biggest problems and their issues and their burning desires. In a former life, I was them. I was a wedding planner. I was running my own business. I know exactly what wedding planners, like you go through every single day, trying to wear all your different hats. I can easily write copy that speaks to your or their heart, and it makes them want to instantly buy whatever it is that I'm selling, whether it's a website copy package or an ebook or a program or whatever. So exactly what your dream couples go through trying to plan their weddings. You can plan weddings in your sleep like a champ. You can easily write copy that speaks to the heart of your dream couples and makes them instantly want to hire you. I'm not the only one that uses this technique. I'm not the only one, because it works. I can give you a couple of examples of, some other companies that you can take a look at to see, sweet spot copy, is what I call it, in action. There's Michelle Schaefer is the girl blogger next door. And she wrote an article or blog post not too long ago that really resonated with me. If you're someone that writes your own content, which pretty sure you are if you're here today, I can pretty much guarantee that this is probably going to resonate with you too. Her article was called "Why I'd Keep Writing If Nobody Was Reading My Blog and Why You Should Too." And I can post the actual link to the article so you can take a look at it. But first, it's definitely, if you read through her blog and you read through her website, you can definitely see exactly what I've been talking about in action. This is not wedding related at all, but it's a very, very good example. Harley Davidson, whoever writes their copy, amazing. I think I ordered something for my dad. My dad's a Harley guy. And I received this and I was like, wow, this is awesome copy. So, Harley's always been an American icon, but whoever's, writing that copy is really making a statement. Here's an email that I got from them. So this is email copy. It's not website copy, but it's really good. So it says, "Your order just pulled up. We're filling it now, so it'll hit the road soon." This stuff is genius, right? Then it says, "Hey, Christy, thanks for riding with us. Here's what to expect with your order. Every package is loaded with over 100 years of asphalt and innovation, open roads and living free, grease guts, and a hell of a lot of riding. We'll send you an email with a tracking number once it ships. Email follow-up copy." That this wowed me. It floored me. I was so intrigued by this. And again, this was an email I got from an order. So I was really pulled into their lifestyle. I'm not a Harley chick, but I was really pulled into the lifestyle, their company, their mission. I felt like I was riding on the back of a Harley. The copy did everything it's supposed to do. That's my point. It did everything it's supposed to do when someone receives this. So I haven't received the shipping confirmation email yet, but I expect that it'll be just as exciting of a read as their follow-up to my order was. And I'm really sitting on the edge of my seat in anticipation of seeing it. And that's the feeling that you want to invoke in your ideal client when you send them an email or when they read the copy on your website. You again really want to hit their sweet spot right in the middle. So I'm going to give you a little homework assignment. Pick a piece of your content, pick a piece of your copy. Content's more like your blog posts or whatnot, where your copy's more, email copy, that's some part of a marketing campaign, or your website copy. So pick a piece, whatever it is. It can be a blog post, an article, an excerpt from a book that you're writing, your backstory on your website. It can be something you've already written, or to rework, or you can start from scratch. It might be easier to rework something. Sometimes if it's too far gone, it's easier to start from scratch. You decide. But most importantly, I want you to find your voice, your tone. I want you to find your personality, and you've got it, whatever that is, whatever your personality is. And I want you to infuse it into your copy so that whoever is reading it, whether it's me or a bride or a groom or a mother of the bride, I want them to really get to know you through that content, whether it's the topic of a piece of, blog post or article, or if it's your website copy. I want them to really get to know you. So remember, use the words that you would use naturally having a conversation with someone, but also use words that your prospective couples and clients would use too. Okay. So again, some of this seems like basic stuff, but I promise and guarantee you, if you go out and look at your own copy and content, and you look at other wedding planners or other wedding professionals' copy and content, this stuff is not coming through on 99% of it. I see it every single day, and it's kind of sad. So before I open it up for Q&A, oh, here's your homework. Before I open it up for Q&A, I did promise you a really juicy offer, and I'm going to go over it really quick, and then I'll open it up for any Q&A. And I do have some questions that came in from people that weren't going to be able to attend live, so I'll answer a few of those as well. We have plenty of time. Okay, so next week I'm opening up a 5-day intensive, and I did this in response to. I emailed out a question to my planners on my list and asked them why they didn't subscribe to a program that I rolled out not too long ago. And they told me it was time. They didn't have the time to commit to an 8-week program. So in response to that, I rolled out this 5-day, I'm rolling out this 5-day intensive. It's called Write Your Wedding Biz Website Copy in a Week. It's not really a week, it's really 5 days, but it's not your typical copywriting course that you don't end up finishing. So it's not something that's just going to sit on your computer or that you're not going to log in to actually do. And it's also not a course that you won't see the results to if you actually apply the information that I give to you. So it is a copywriting workshop that really offers up one-on-one accountability and support and guidance from me, from someone who's been exactly where you are now. And I'll give you just a quick few highlights of what you'd learn. So first of all, I'm going to hand down the recipe for writing your about page to impress your dream couples into working with you right away. I'm going to help you uncover how to choose the right words and an engaging approach to creating your Work With Me page, so that you do wind up with a booked calendar and a wait list of couples that want to work with you. And I'm going to teach you how to use your service descriptions to create such a need and desire for your business that couples are ready to hire you before they even meet you in person. That's a big one. How to attract your dream couples instantly as soon as they start reading what you have to say, which starts right off with your headline or subject line usually, and how to use a sales and landing page to book more consultations, and then how to convert those into booked weddings with your dream clients. So at the end of the 5 days, your website copy is completely done, finished, finito. You have access to me all week long. I'm giving personal feedback on all of the daily homework assignments that I give to you, which essentially is writing the copy, for each of those website pages that we're going to cover. And at the end of the week, you can also attend a Q&A session to ask me any copywriting questions that you may have. And that's in addition to the 24/7 email access that you have to me during the week to get answers to your questions. So here's the juicy offer. It's only $297, but here's the kicker. The offer ends on April the 3rd, so which is the night before that week-long event actually kicks off on April the 4th. So the program itself will run from April 4th to April 8th, which is a Monday through Friday. So if you're interested, you can sign up. You can sign up now, or you can sign up whenever, as long as it's before the 3rd. Like I said, it's a one-time offer. I don't have any plans to offer this again right now. So if you're ready to rumble, you can register at theweddingplannercopy.com/write. And if you want all the details, you can check that out. And it lists out some very specific, there's that word, very specific details on the daily modules, what we're going to cover, and how we're going to get all this done. Okie dokie. So I'm going to open it up for some Q&A. And I'm going to try to mix some that came in prior to the webinar kicking off with the live ones. So if you have any questions, just type it into the little box to the right, and I will pick those up. Okay. So here is a question. I find writing about myself is one of the hardest things I have to do. Do you have any advice on how to write about me without sounding as if I am boasting or missing things I need to say? So here's the thing. There are a couple of different ways that you can approach this. So first, again, write like you're having a conversation with a couple that's sitting right in front of you face to face. Think about what do you say to your couples during your consultations that end up turning them into actual clients. Say that, when you're writing. Say it in your about page. Because you have to tell them about yourself and your experience and blah 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 when they're sitting in front of you. Do the same thing, in your about page. Something else you can use so that it doesn't sound like it's coming necessarily directly from you is testimonials or reviews from your clients. Let those past couples speak for you, so it doesn't come across, as being boastful or obnoxious or annoying or whatever. I don't personally use testimonials on my about page, but you can. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Just make sure that wherever you place the testimonial, it works with the flow of your copy and doesn't end up interrupting it. So if you're talking about, your creativity, for example, use a testimonial that speaks about, your what a creative genius you are or whatever. Don't throw something in there about how you save them money or stretch their budget or, help them stay within budget, because that just interrupts the flow. Okay. This person is saying, I'm sort of fun and unique, but I'm trying to figure out how to use that when I write. I say use it. Having a fun and unique voice is a great voice to have. You're talking about weddings. That's fun and unique are probably two of the most popular adjectives you would use about planning a wedding. So I've said it before, and I'll definitely say it again. Write like you would talk to them, like you would speak to them. Here's a tip. If it helps you to write like you talk, record your copy. Record what you want to say, what you want to write, and then go back and transcribe it. You can get one of those fancy Dragon programs where you talk into your computer and it types out the copy for you, but you don't have to go that far. You can talk into your smartphone, voice memo thing, and then listen back and type, what you're saying, and then go back and edit it and go back and make it, more you and more your style. But that's a very, very easy way to make your voice come across. Okay, this person's asking how do they know if the way that they're writing is appropriate for their particular business? So you can find a balance really between the way that you write and the way that your dream clients really want you to talk to them or come across, and that might already match. You may already do that, or it might be something that you have to tweak. Honestly, though, I wouldn't change the way that you write for anyone. Again, I think your dream clients, the people that you really want to work with and really love to work with, want to work with you because of the way that you come across through your writing, through your website. There's plenty of other planners out there. So if they don't click with you for some reason, they can go find a planner that they click with. And honestly, those are probably not the clients you want to work with anyway. Those are red flag type things. If you don't click, then you're not going to want to work with them and they're not going to want to work with you. So there's plenty of business out there for everyone, so again, you're not going to scare away the right clients with the way that you're writing. Unless it's just, hideous. I mean, there's people that write just hideous, but I don't come across that very often. I mean, it's usually professional and, comes across, needs some tweaking basically. Okay, someone's asking if I have any tips on how to weave in stories or examples or really write from the heart with their personality. They're saying I'm a detailed person, so I have a tendency to state the facts, go into all the details and be very matter of fact, which can be a tad dry and doesn't really reveal my personality. I'm also not one for bearing my soul, but want to understand how to put a bit more of my personality into my copy. So I say pretend like you're having a face-to-face with your girlfriend, over a cup of coffee or a wine, and let it rip. Again, if you get too personal on this stuff, don't hit the publish button yet. I mean, get it out onto your screen, but don't hit publish. And if you get too personal, you can always go back and edit out pieces that you don't feel comfortable with the way they are worded or sharing that. But some personality, a lot of personality, I think, and revealing some of your personal side in your copy is a good thing once in a while. It really works. So they want you to be a professional, but they also want to relate to you on a personal level. Okay. When it comes to a bio on the about page, a biography on the about page, how long or short should it be? Okay, so if you're writing a formal, like about me section on your page, I would say try to keep it to 2 paragraphs. Usually the first paragraph is typically who you are, as an individual and a little bit about what you do and some of your credentials. And the second tends to be more about your educational background, whether that's, degrees or certifications or accreditations that you hold. And then you can include, depending on where you're publishing the bio, you can include a soft call to action, like for more information, visit this page of my website or something like that. So yeah, your bio shouldn't be huge on your about me page. That's the formal, I think they're talking about the formal one at the bottom, after you've gone through some informal stuff at the top. Is it better to have a long page of website copy or try to keep it short? So it really depends. I'll tell you this, it's best not to write War and Peace on every page of your website. Great book, but nobody's going to sit there and read, scrolling down, for 10 pages on your site. I will say this though, at the same time, the website is where people go to find out more about you and find, about what you offer and what you do. So they are looking for that information. So the best policy really is to write copy that write the length of copy that you need to write to really cover everything that you need to cover. But try not to get so hung up on how many words it is or how long or how short it is. And remember, you're just trying to intrigue them enough to pick up the phone and call you. I hear all the time, 9 out of 10 times, if I get the couple in front of me, I sell them. I book them. That's great. So write copy, that gets those 10 couples in front of you and then, finish it off at the table. But I will say this, that the copy that you write, again, can really pre-sell a lot for you. And you spend a lot less time at the table and a lot less time trying to sell them when you can do it up front with what you're saying on your website. So I don't see any other questions. Again, if I missed your question or if you think of one later, I'm happy to answer. You can just shoot it to hello@weddingplannercopy.com. And I'm going to cut it here so I can go catch my plane. With my 2 small children, I'm starting to think I'm crazy to do this by myself. But anyway, I really, really love that you guys came to hang out with me today. And I hope you learned a ton. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'll be sending out the recording later today, probably. Thanks.